that was Ross coming in, I was going to say we should all cheer really loud. It's not Ross. That would have been funny.
Calling to order the Monday, March 20th, 2023 meeting of the 39th Council of the City of Berkeley. Ms. Mitchell, will you please call the roll?
Councilmember Baker.
Here.
Councilmember Dooley.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Gavin. Councilmember Hennon.
Here.
Councilmember Patterson.
Here.
Councilmember Villani.
Here.
Mayor Dean.
Here. Our first order of business is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Support.
Motion made by Councilmember Villani with support from Councilmember Baker. Are there any changes or corrections? Seeing none, Ms. Mitchell, please call the roll.
Dooley.
Yes.
Hennon.
Yes.
Patterson.
Yes.
Villani.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Dean.
Yes, the agenda has been approved. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to take a moment and recognize some people who have joined us this evening. We have, I'm still calling you Mayor Turbrack, the Turbrack family, Mrs. Gilbert, Jacqueline's mother, Roy and Fran Turbrack, Senator McMorrow, Andy Meisner, Phil O'Dwyer, Eileen Stedman, Jack Blanchard. Who am I missing? Okay, I'm just gonna go with that. I am opening up public comments this evening. If anyone has anything that they would like to speak about that is not on tonight's agenda, now is your moment. When you come to the microphone, please state your name and city of residence. Can we move that microphone down, please?
Hello, my name is Adriana Allen. I am a fourth grader at Rogers Elementary School. I am here to keep a promise to support my speech from last time to change the pet rules, section 22-42, limitation on number kept. I think people should have 3 of one animal and 2 of the other. You can save more animals. For instance, I have 2 old lady cats and a dog. If we had another cat or dog, our neighbors wouldn't really notice. If you're a pet lover like me, you'll probably like this change. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.
Thank you, Adriana.
Good evening. I'm Sue Richardson, and this is Jeff Tong from the Berkeley Historical Committee. And I hope people are becoming aware by now that this year marks Berkeley's 100th anniversary of becoming a village. And so we're planning things to celebrate it. And one of the our plans was to have a time capsule. So our plan is sometime this summer. We haven't set an exact date yet.
You adding time.
Council is ruining the time capsule.
You broke it, I'm sorry.
I could go back in time.
Looks like we're out of time, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It's not sealed.
It is not.
Yeah, it's going to last 100 years.
Please don't say we did this on the cheap. So we are seeking suggestions as to what can go there. And one of our committee members did a little research and found some tips about what are the best things to put in a time capsule to ensure that they'll be in a suitable state when the time capsule is dug up. I'll just hit what I think are the most relevant ones. It says that books and documentation printed on the highest quality paper, so newspapers in their original format would not hold up. They would have to be photocopied. Black and white photographs hold up better than color. Let's see, a couple others. And, you know, we have to think now, we're so used to technology, but who knows what it's going to be like in 100 years. So the suggestion is not to include anything that would need the type of technology we have today. So, you know, one of our members thought, oh, a flash drive, but, you know, who knows if they'll even know what that is. And avoid plastics. But we do have our email address if anyone wants to contact us with suggestions. It's museum@berkleymich.net. We also, the library is going to be hosting an event. Do you have the date? With 12th? April 12th, 6:30 at the library. The Munches, who are local experts on kit homes, are going to be making a presentation. They did that, maybe 5-6 years ago? And it was very well received. Berkeley has an amazing number of kit homes, especially some of the biggest, most expensive ones around. And at some point, we're planning to have, we've been working with the Chamber of Commerce to have a tour of kit homes, possibly in the fall, summer. We haven't, there are a lot of logistics involved, as you can imagine. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Sue.
I've got one thing to add. In conjunction with the kit homes in April, the museum will have a kit home display. We'll have photos on display of all 50-plus kit homes in Berkeley. We have been given the original blueprints of one of the kit homes in Berkeley. We have the shipping list, and we have a lot of information about Berkeley's kit homes. That's April. In May, we are facing Berkeley Days, and we will have a display on the history of Berkeley Days in Berkeley. Started in 1926, we'll have things on display from every single decade since 1926. Photos, newspaper articles, ads, memorabilia. And in June, we're going to honor restaurants in Berkeley. Having done a lot of Facebook posts over the last years, I know nothing gets more hits than anything about a Berkeley restaurant. An army moves on its stomach, and Berkeley apparently does too. So there will be a huge number of photos from your favorite Berkeley restaurants from yesterday's, Domenico's, Sila's, Thistle, Nip and Tuck, all of them, as well as menus. You can all go home hungry after looking at the old menus and seeing you could have bought a whole pizza for 75 cents. So anyways, those are our 3 displays coming up. April, Kid Homes, May, Berkeley Days, June, restaurants. Stop by the museum, Sundays, 2 to 4. I've only done this 30-some years. And Wednesdays, 10 to 1. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Joel Elferts, Berkeley. I've been told the city appreciates my questions, so I figured I'd rattle off some more. No, Councilmember Hennon was kind enough to answer one of the questions I had last time, which was regarding the capital improvement plan, and that it's intended to be an attainable plan. So with it being roughly $800,000 a year in the plan, I would hope to see the same revenue matching that. I also spoke to the city manager about some budget amendments. I'm hoping those can be implemented. Specifically, the engineering for J.C. Park was duplicated in the budget, and I think there was possibility to amend the budget for the parking study. The other interesting thing that he mentioned was that there's been an application for 1.7 million in grants for all of the HVAC systems. I just want to get clarification that's the right number. I mean, that's for 4 or 5 HVAC units seems like a lot, but that's it.
Thank you. Seeing as no one's coming up to the microphone, I'm going to close this section of public comments. Oh, wait, before I do that, Ms. Mitchell, do you have anything to read into the record?
I do, thank you. Robert Wittenberg, Oakland County Treasurer, submitted a letter regarding the department's foreclosure prevention efforts. The tax foreclosure deadline for the 2020 or prior year taxes is on March 31st, 2023. That means if these taxes aren't paid off by March 31st, or any interested party hasn't entered into a repayment schedule with the treasurer's office by then, the property will be foreclosed. The treasurer's office stresses it is here to help people keep their properties and has options and resources to do so. Some of the resources include Michigan Homeowners Assistance Fund, Financial Empowerment Center, and Lakeshore Legal Aid. Taxpayers interested in scheduling a taxpayer assistance meeting may call the Oakland County Treasurer Department at 248-858-0611 or visit oakgov.com/treasurer.
Ms. Mitchell, will that document also be on the city's website?
Yes, it will.
Okay, thank you. Now I will officially close public comments. Ms. Mitchell, will you please read the items on tonight's consent agenda?
Approval of the minutes, matter of approving the minutes of the 39th regular and special city council meetings on Monday, March 6, 2023, and special work session on Wednesday, February 28th, 2023. 2 warrants, matter of approving warrants number 1383 and 1384. 3, proclamation number P423, matter proclaiming April 2023 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month. 4, proclamation number P523, matter proclaiming April 2023 as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month. 5, proclamation number P623, matter proclaiming April 2023 as Autism Awareness Month. 6, proclamation number P723, matter proclaiming April 2023 as Fair Housing Month.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilmember Patterson
Support.
with support from Councilmember Hennon. Are there any corrections or additions? Seeing none, Ms. Mitchell, will you please call the roll?
Hennon,
Yes.
Patterson,
Yes.
Belani,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Dooley,
Yes.
Dean.
Yes, the consent agenda has passed. Ms. Mitchell, will you please read item number 1 on tonight's regular agenda?
Recognitions, presentations, matter of any recognitions or presentations from the consent agenda.
Seeing none, Ms. Mitchell, would you please read item number 2 on tonight's agenda?
Resolution number R423, matter of recognizing Daniel J. Turbrack for his years of service as mayor for the city of Berkeley.
Is there a motion to approve R0423?
So moved, Your Honor.
Motion was made by Councilmember Baker.
Support.
Wow, with unanimous support. I'm gonna say Councilmember Dooley. Mayor Turbrack, will you please come up to the podium? A resolution of the Council of the City of Berkeley, Michigan, recognizing Daniel J. Turbrack for his service as mayor and council member for the City of Berkeley. Whereas for the last 5 years, the City of Berkeley has been represented by Daniel J. Turbrack as the mayor of our city. Dan served the city as council member beginning in 2007, before being elected as mayor on November 7th, 2017. He was subsequently elected to 2 additional 2-year terms on November 5th, 2019, and November 9th, 2021. And whereas Dan represents 3 generations of his family living in Berkley, he and his wife Jacqueline chose to make their home in Berkley in 2004, where they welcomed 4 daughters, Addison, Emma, Isabel, and Olive. In 2016, the family moved to another house in Berkley, directly across from Dan's childhood home, where his family still resides. And whereas Dan earned a bachelor's degree in secondary education from Central Michigan University before pursuing a master's degree in educational administration and supervision. After teaching for 5 years, Dan took the role of school principal for 5 years at both Our Lady of La Salette in Berkley and then at Guardian Angels in Clawson. In the mid-2000s, Dan began a career at Northwestern Mutual and most recently was named Chief Development Officer, continually excelling in that position today. And whereas Dan has devoted his time and energy to many worthwhile causes in Berkley, including first serving as a member and then the council liaison to the Berkley Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. Dan has also coached local youths in both hockey and baseball, as well as serving as a vital member of both the Berkley Dads Club and Friends of the Berkley Parks and Recreation. Dan is also known for his spirited sense of competition in the annual City Council versus Dads Club softball tournament.
That's true.
And whereas, during the course of these last 6 years, Dan's duties and opportunities took various forms. Some of these included welcoming new businesses to the city, serving as host to local, national, and international dignitaries, and performing wedding ceremonies for a great number of current residents. And whereas, Dan has earned the respect and admiration of his colleagues. As mayor, Dan represented Berkley with diligence, understanding, and aplomb. The city and its residents alike have benefited greatly from his tenacity, diplomacy, and efficiency in tackling the wide variety of issues inherent to municipal government. Now, therefore, the City of Berkley resolves, Section 1, that City Council, on behalf of all local residents, offers its genuine thanks and deep appreciation to Daniel J. Turbrack for his dedicated service to the City of Berkley, and City Council extends best wishes for happiness and success in the future. Introduced and passed at a regular City Council meeting on Monday, March 20th, 2023. Bridget Dean, Mayor. Congratulations.
Guys, to come up here. Come back. Am I not talking yet? No?
No,
All right.
not yet.
I'll reserve my comments.
Okay, so, I have asked Councilmember Baker to read a note from Treasurer Wittenberg, who couldn't be here this evening.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. My pleasure. This special tribute comes with a cover letter, so I'll begin with that. Robert Wittenberg, Treasurer. Tribute to Dan Turbrack. I would like to add my sentiments of appreciation for Dan Turbrack's service to the City of Berkley. Dan has been an integral part of Berkley's success during his 10 years on council and 5 years as mayor. During that time, the city has reinvented itself to become more vibrant, all while keeping its small-town charm. Berkley has won numerous awards over the years, in no small part due to Dan's time, energy, and enthusiasm for the city. I wish Dan all the best in his professional endeavors, and more importantly, I wish all the best to Dan and Jacqueline as they enjoy spending more time with their girls. Dan, thanks again for your tireless advocacy for the city and your thankless work. Berkley is undoubtedly better off for your service. Signed, Robert Wittenberg, Oakland County Treasurer. That's the cover letter. Very nice. And then the official, all fancy font kind of thing. Oakland County, Michigan's special tribute presented to Dan Turbrack. Let it be known that it is a pleasure to offer our congratulations to Dan Turbrack on his retirement from Berkley City Council. As the community recognizes Dan for his achievements, we add our sentiments of gratitude for his commitment to our community. His efforts and leadership have been appreciated by the city of Berkeley, and our region. Let it further be known that Michigan has a long tradition of belief in the value of public service, and Dan has been able to meet the challenges facing our community by serving the city of Berkeley during his 10 years on council and 5 years as mayor. As a lifelong citizen of Berkeley, Dan has devoted a lot of his time, energy, and enthusiasm for the city. Thanks to his efforts, the city has reinvented itself to become more vibrant, all the while keeping its small-town charm. He is an active member of Berkeley Parks and Recreation Advisory Board and Friends of the Berkeley Parks of Recreation. Dan also devotes his time and efforts to Berkeley's youngest citizens in his role as youth hockey coach and youth baseball coach. It is through his dedication to service to his community that he is receiving this recognition, and we are glad to congratulate him. In special tribute, therefore, this document is signed and dedicated to congratulating Dan Turbrack on his retirement from the Berkeley City Council. May he continue his spirit of public service and commitment to our community in his new role as a private citizen. We wish all the best to Dan and Jacqueline as they enjoy spending more time with the girls. Signed, Robert Wittenberg, Oakland County Treasurer, March 20th, 2023. Yay. Congratulations. Yeah, we'll add it to the pile.
And then I have one more communication before we open the floor from former Mayor Pro Tem Dale Good Courage, and Councilmember Dooley was asked to read that.
Hi, Deb. Dear Dan, Mr. Mayor, I'm greatly honored for having been given the opportunity to say a few words tonight at your appreciation ceremony with the approval of Mayor Dean. Dan, wishing we could be there with you this evening to celebrate the incredible journey you have been on for 15 years plus of giving to our community. As unfortunate as that is, you are aware that we are spending our council retirement funds in Florida for the winter, which leaves little to no travel funds left at the end of the month to return home. I am so looking forward to helping you, Jacqueline, and the girls spend your vested city funds finding winter home somewhere near us. Parentheses, watch the rumors on social media begin tonight. From the time you were very young, watching you take on tasks in general, playing sports to your fullest of potential, overcoming, dealing with allergies, asthma, and I mean dealing with it, you always played through it with not one sight, one sound, or one word of self-pity. That, my friend, even at such an early age, is what real leaders are made of, and why people of your caliber make such a mass difference in the lives of those around them in the community of which they serve. One of my favorite times in life was coaching you on the La Salette boys baseball team. Our team motto was, "Nothing great happens without enthusiasm." Again, I am not surprised that you have continued to exude that motto wherever you go, whatever you do, and whenever you touch is with enthusiasm of making a difference. I could stand before you all night and talk about the love I have for you, your family, and how fortunate we have been over the years to call the Turbrack family. Friends, cherished times, and some sad times, but always through it with much love, care, compassion. He wants me to stop right here and say hi to Fran and Roy, hoping that he gets a beer and a cigar at the next golf outing. Having an opportunity to serve on council for 2 years with you was without doubt one of life's highlights for me. You had a journey with the opportunity to fill the shoes of some of the greats before you, and that was done admirably, my friend. If folks only knew what one must do in order to keep them safely protected, their homes and families secured, and the profound responsibility taken on to balance funds available for all that is required to run the city, the county, the community, the country, there might be a bit more admiration for those, the likes of our leading elected officials. It is not easy, and it's very evasive for families of those who choose to serve. To Jacqueline and the young ladies, thank you for taking one for the team and allowing your husband and your daddy an opportunity in making a difference for all in our community and the surrounding area. Dan, in closing, I could not be more proud of what you have done, who you have become, and the ability to take a hit and keep on running. Thank you for all of it and then some. Congratulations on your most recent promotion, the renewed ability to spend more time with your family. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. Dale Goodcourage.
Nice. Okay, so I'm opening the floor now. I'd like to start with Senator McMorrow, please. And then however people want to come up after that, it's fine.
It's gonna be very strange with you. Madam Mayor, members of council, I'm also gonna have a hard time not calling you mayor. So Dan, I'm gonna work on that. It's gonna take some practice. When Mayor Dean reached out and asked me to be here tonight, it didn't even take 30 seconds of me looking at that email to say absolutely, and I'm so excited. You can tell the second you meet somebody just how much they care about their community, about the potential for a community, about everything that it can be and that it is, and how much they give of themselves to that moment. Dan might not remember this, but I do, because when I first decided to run for office, I reached out to a lot of people who had never heard of me, who had no idea who I was or what I was doing, and a lot of people just rejected those emails. Dan didn't, and we got coffee together, and more than anything else, I wanted to learn what it was like being of service to your community in a really meaningful way, what this job really took and what it was going to take to do well to all of the residents of Berkley. It was at Atomic Coffee, so thank you for coming to Royal Oak. I appreciate it. But for those of us at all levels of government, we are made so much better by having people that we work alongside at every single level who make us better. Dan is somebody who has always texted, called, let me know what's going on, through good times, through bad times. Speaking of a spirit of competition, I remember I tweeted out one election that Berkley was the first city in my district to complete absentee ballot counting. So that's to Madam Clerk as well. And that we celebrated on Twitter as a major award. And it was that spirit. It's fun. Something that I've always loved about representing Berkley is a spirit of fun. And that is exuded by Dan every single day. I am, in my role as state senator and also as a neighbor, just eternally grateful that you took the time to go out of your way. You didn't have to. You know, I know now as a mom of only one, I don't know how you do it. Time is so precious, and I am just always grateful for anybody who gives up their time to others, to the pursuit of making their community better. So from my position on behalf of the state of Michigan, on behalf of the entire 8th Senate District, and I'm just gonna go out on a limb because I can, and who's gonna stop me, and say on behalf of 10 million residents of the entire state of Michigan, Berkley is a really, see? You get to do those things. Berkley is a really special place, and it is continuing on a path that is gonna make it one of the most unique places in the entire country, in no small part because of Dan. So thank you, and I'm always available for coffee.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Just because my kid is at Berkley Cubs, and I've got to pick him up from practice at 8. So forgive me, Mayor. You are a far more deserving next speaker, but good evening, Madam Mayor, distinguished members of council, municipal staff. I'm Andy Meisner of Huntington Woods, former Berkley resident, and am very honored to take this opportunity to commemorate what I think is a very important tenure on behalf of former Mayor Turbrack. I think in order to talk about Mayor Turbrack's tenure, I think you have to talk a little bit about some of the leaders who preceded him in Berkley, like Mayor O'Dwyer, Mayor Steffen, Mayor Moody, going all the way back, because what Berkley has had is a spirit of service, frankly, that has always transcended party. You know, I think if you ask people wouldn't know necessarily, and I think that's a good thing, because municipal government is about getting things done. And I think, you know, you saw that from the people that are chiming in, and I think that says a lot about you, because ultimately what we're supposed to do is put our community first. And I saw you do that. I saw you do it with distinction from the council. And how many years on council was it?
10.
10? You know, that's serving some pretty good time there and really learning. And then when you had the opportunity to ascend to mayor, you know, you made the most of it. And so as a fellow private citizen, I tell you, the water's good. Roy keeps the water perfect. And I just hope that the good people of Berkley know not only what a good mayor they've got now, but what a good mayor preceded Mayor Dean. And with that, forgive me for ducking out and going to pick up my kid, but thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, members of council, and city administration, I rise to congratulate Dan on a splendid career serving the city of Berkley. About 15 years ago, I got a call requesting a basement meeting. And this young man arrived and he said, well, I'd like to talk to you about running for city council. And as I sized up this young man, I thought, is he still in high school? And then I listened for a while and discovered that he actually had completed college and a master's degree and was a teacher and a principal of a school. And I said, all this in this kid. And then he went on to present his bona fides. I am third generation in the city of Berkley. My baseball team was coached by Dale Goodcourage, and I'm still playing hockey. I thought to myself, that's a fine combination. And so it was that Dan decided to throw his hat in the ring and became a member of council. And for the next 10 years, it was a pleasure working with Dan. As a colleague on the council, and then during my time as mayor, for a period of that time, he was mayor pro tem. And as you understand, Madam Mayor, your mayor pro tem is a critical person whose loyalty and advice you count upon every day.
Absolutely.
And Dan, we counted on you every day. And we counted on him especially when we played the Dad's Club in baseball. And as Dale Goodcourage indicated, the enthusiasm that he brought to that event was unparalleled, but it was the same enthusiasm that he brought to service to the community. A passion for doing the right thing, a passion for excellence. He has Berkley is in his DNA. And so we congratulate him tonight. We thank him for his service to the city. But beyond that, we need to thank Jacqueline for her willingness to let him serve the community, dedicate the amount of time it takes. Few people have any understanding of the amount of time it takes to serve on council and to be the mayor of the city. And so it was a massive contribution from his family and his 4 beautiful girls as they came along through those 15 years, one after the other. And they are just so precious, and it's great to see him this evening. So with that, may I just congratulate Dan and thank him for his service to the city, and thank his family for being here tonight. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council and Administration. Thanks for letting me speak. I really hate to follow Phil, though. You know, I feel so inadequate after following Phil, but I just wanted to tell Dan that I appreciate serving with him. I served 10 years on council, part of the time with Phil as a mayor and part of the time with Dan as a mayor. But both of those individuals are extremely effective leaders in our city. I know leadership. I spent 30 years in the Army, and I've seen it here demonstrated because they know what they're doing. They made sure that the best interests of the citizens of Berkeley were taken care of by the council. Dan put a lot of time in it. You could text him and call him anytime, and he'd get back to you. He had the answers, or he had more work for you to do to find out what you need to tell him. And of course, his wonderful family, which, as I know from serving in the military, the family is very important in support. And Jacqueline provided that support to him, and the girls provided support so he could do what he needed to do to get the job done. So Dan was an effective leader. He is in a club, though, that you probably don't know about. And there's only 3 of us in that club. Dan, Phil, and myself. We are the only persons, only city council persons I know of that have ever been thrown out of the city manager's office.
That's the former manager, current manager.
I'm getting to that. It was during the 2014 flood, and we had a little bit of disagreements with the current city manager about how things were going. As you can see now, I'm wearing a different shirt. And that's part of the time when I got started to get into this even more because of 2 things. One was the flood, and one was the statement the previous manager made that we don't need emergency management, we don't have hurricanes here. Well, that's not true. But anyway, I digress. Dan, it was a pleasure to serve with you. You're a fantastic leader, and thank you for everything.
Okay. First off, did everybody notice Olive's shoes? She's got new shoes today.
Great.
I'd like to make sure everybody has seen them. Okay. Well, thank you, Madam Mayor, esteemed members of council, everybody else that's here, certainly my children, Addison, put your hand up. Yep, Emma, Isabel, Olive. And certainly my wife, Jacqueline, my parents, Roy and Fran that are here, mother-in-law, Linda, people I got to serve with, Jack, Eileen, Phil. I appreciate all of you taking a few minutes today. And you know, Marilyn mentioned her earlier, and Phil. Between Marilyn, Phil, Steve, and Dale Goodcourage and Andy Meisner, look, those are the people that you should really blame here. Because if it wasn't for them, I would not have been involved when I was. I wouldn't have had the pleasure serving council. I wouldn't have had the pleasure serving as mayor. And I want to thank all of the folks that I had the opportunity to serve with. There's just too many to name them all. Also, all of the members of staff, administration, the directors, staff, just everybody in this community. It is an incredibly special place to be. You know, people have asked me a lot over the last 2 months, 3 months now, if I miss being mayor. And at first I was like, no. It's great. I don't have, Mondays are open, people aren't yelling at me about things. But I've realized that I absolutely do. Way more than I thought I was gonna. And because of that, and Jacqueline doesn't know about this yet, surprise, I am proud to announce that this November, I will be getting back by happily endorsing Bridgetine as mayor. I have had my fun. It is the reasons that I stepped away have not changed. It's these 5 lovely ladies right here. We know Jacqueline's had to carry most of the load. Even if I wasn't, she would be doing that anyway. The new role at my firm, and those things have to come first. And if I cannot do this job the way that it deserves to be completed with the time and dedication, then I shouldn't be the one sitting here, and that's why Madam Mayor is sitting there right now, because she will do all of those things. But what I do miss the most is the people. I made a lot of decisions over 15 years. If you can believe this, some were unpopular at the time. And I remember getting very poignant emails and phone calls. And I wasn't going to email back. One, that's foiable. That's a rookie move. But two, because you can't, you don't know, it's just the tone. I wanted to talk to people. So I would call them. I have those conversations all the time. And they would generally start angrily or loudly. But by the end of those conversations, even though we didn't agree, there was a level of respect because I explained, like, here's why I voted this way. Here's why I believe it's in the best interest of the city. Again, we don't have to agree, but the end of those, conversations, we knew where each other was coming from. And that built relationships. Relationships with people in this community that I probably never would have met any other way or would have reached out to or would ever consider friends. And many of those started off very antagonistic. I made some poor choices in their estimation. So that is something that I'm certainly going to miss, and I will continue to miss. I don't know what's going on in the city anymore. People call. My dad asks me. I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. Call Bridget. I don't know. So that's a little sad. But I'm also just going to miss the staff. Matt, Victoria, Dan, and John, and Teresa, the directors, everybody, and all the different departments. Like, they're truly, truly incredible people. And that's why Berkeley's such a special place. And I have the absolute utmost faith in this group of individuals right here. Even if Ross were here, I would still say that. In what you are doing, I know what you deal with, and I know what you go through for our community, and I'm incredibly grateful. I love Berkeley. It's an absolute honor to be able to serve the past 15 years. And with that, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Oh. Okay, you can't go anywhere because I'm going to open this up to council now. So is there anyone that would like to say anything to Mayor Turbrack? Councilmember Hennon.
Yeah, just a few short comments. I just wanted to share some of the things that I always highly admired in you. Your love and passion for Berkeley, that was always apparent. And just the knowledge you brought to the table with us, having lived here, your entire life, and knowing, a lot of those things that those of us that weren't here our lifetime, wouldn't know. And then just your ability to keep our meetings running smoothly and focused, even, when things were contentious, when things were heated, keeping that calm emotion, that calm passion, keeping things under control. So just thank you for your service. Your contributions to this body are truly going to be missed.
Councilmember Baker.
Thank you, Your Honor, and thank you, Your Honor. In addition to the love and compassion and dedication that you bring to Berkeley, I'd just like to highlight the degrees to which you extend that to our regional partners and neighbors. Berkeley can't operate in an island in isolation, and in addition to tremendous relationships and working partnerships within the community, you've helped bridge gaps and better unite the Woodward Corridor and many other communities, and even through the Michigan Municipal League and things like that. So, in addition to, again, all the great things here in the city, you've made an impact in our region and across the state. And thank you for permitting me to have the honor of being your mayor pro tem for 2 years. I learned a lot and really enjoyed the opportunity to partner with you to help move the city forward. So thank you again, and enjoy all the beauty and love that you have ahead of you as well. Thank you.
I just want to say thanks, Dan, for kind of getting me into this mess. You appointed me to a planning commission and Parks and Rec, and you were the liaison, and it was a pleasure to serve both of those with you as mayor. It's nice to be able to call you as a friend and always have a phone number with lots of questions. So keep your phone on. Thank you for everything.
Councilmember Villani.
Well, it was just about 2 years ago that I had a similar getting to know you conversation when I was getting ready to throw my hat in the ring, and you were always super supportive. You were willing to take a risk, which I'm sure on some days you may be regretting that risk. But you always shared your wisdom, and it's been very clear, like my fellow council members have shared, that your relationships, your passion for the community are evident in everything you do. And so it was great, even though it was short, to be able to learn from you up here.
Thank you, Dan. I second Greg.
Give it time.
No, all is good. I have not had the opportunity, because you left me too quick, to work in a body up here. But from afar, knowing what you did, trusting what you did up here, I knew that the city council was in good hands. We did have the opportunity 10 years ago to sit on the Parks and Rec Board, as you were the liaison at that time. I dearly want you to please admit that you can't beat the Dad's Club in the softball game. Please.
Hey, what team is he on now? Let's forget.
One time. One time. I know.
Yeah.
Prior, funny story, we would beat them for many years, so many times, and then obviously at Dad's Club we'd come and get the trophy and all that, and I think he got sick of losing, because we'd come in, the trophy would be over there, he would, read the whole thing, and he'd say, yeah, your trophy's right there. Next on the agenda, please.
Celebrate that.
So thank you very much, Dan. Thanks for everything.
I have something that Mayor Pro Tem Gavin asked me to read. He regrets that he's not here this evening. He's under the weather. But he just wants to thank you for your guidance, thoughtfulness, dedication, and caring for the city and all of our residents. Berkley was incredibly lucky to have such a wonderful public servant guide the city on council, as mayor, and in all that you do. So he thanks you from the bottom of his heart. And now, Mayor Turbrack, it falls to me to speak on behalf of the residents of our city and say a simple and sincere thank you for 15 years of dedicated service to Berkley. Throughout these years, your goal has never changed. It's always what's best for Berkley. On a personal level, as your Mayor Pro Tem, I was inspired by your decisive and visionary leadership. You never wavered, Dan. You always knew, you cut right to the quick, you cut to the chase, and you weighed everything, but I really was struck by just when you made a decision, that was it. And it was the right one. And to your point earlier, sometimes this might not be the popular one, but you always, again, had what is best for Berkley. That was at the forefront of your mind with every decision. So thank you, Dan, for continuing to be a wise and supportive voice as I seek to extend your vision of what is best for Berkley. Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome. Mayor Emeritus. I can add him to the Mayor Emeritus Club now, right? Okay, I guess, do you have something? You have that look on your face.
Oh, no.
Okay, I misread the look. We will close that. Closing, if anyone else wants to speak, but I feel like we've spoken. Okay, we're good. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I know, I'm running the meeting,
tonight,
so. Okay, Ms. Mitchell, would you,
Yep.
Call the roll.
Calling roll? Yes, call the roll.
Pedersen?
Yes.
Valani?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Dooley?
Yes.
Hennan?
Yes.
Dean?
Yes. Okay, Ms. Mitchell. Will you please read item number 3 on tonight's agenda?
Make sure you record that one.
Number 3, motion number M1823, matter of approving the Berkley Days Hometown Fair event beginning May 11th, 2023 and ending on May 14th, 2023, located at the Berkley Community Center, 2400 Robina. Approval is conditional upon the submission of required items and documents prior to event dates.
Is there a motion to approve M1823?
So moved?
Support.
Motion made by Councilmember Valani with
I defer.
That's okay.
I cut him off.
Support by Councilmember Baker. Mr. Baumgarten.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As you know, it's starting to warm up a little bit here, which means Berkeley Days can't be too far away. This year's application is complete. It's in your packet. It's been reviewed by all appropriate department heads, shepherded through that process by City Clerk Victoria Mitchell. And you were joined this evening by committee members as well as Emergency Manager Jack Blanchard is also here as well, who's been vital in this process too.
Thank you. Ms. Downen?
Hello. So we're pretty excited for this year's event. As I know many of you have heard, we have been working diligently to bring a few new elements this year, one of which Jack has been a vital part of. We are looking to help celebrate the 100th year of Berkeley by having a fireworks display. We are also looking to bring in a kids zone, of course, have the softball game that we all look forward to so much. And, you know, we've been working hard on getting some sponsorship this year to help enrich this year's event. Parks and Rec has been so gracious to allow us to use that green space this year. So once again, we will be able to expand our midway a little bit more. We're going to move and have our food court over in that green area. We're going to have our beer tent over there along with our kids zone. So we're pretty excited about these new planning and this year's 100th celebration.
Nice.
I'm here to answer questions if you have any questions. We've started the draft of the Berkeley Days event plan. This will be completed, of course. We will add to this with some logistics plans, some family control plans that have not been completed yet because we're still in the process, and emergency response plans because we've added a fireworks element. We don't think there'll be any problem with that. We have met with the fireworks company. Denise was there, Matt Kane, Corey Miller, John Roberts, and myself, and Teresa, and we went over the plan with the fireworks company. We had to scale back the size of the shells that they use to fit the area. The safety area will fit inside of Community Center 1. So the fence around Community Center 1 will be a safety area, which we will make sure we have people watching that so nobody tries to climb over the fence. But outside of that will be a spectator area. It will be a quite impressive show. And when we quizzed the gentleman from the company, he was very knowledgeable. And we said, well, you're pretty knowledgeable. He said, well, I'm a deputy fire chief of a community over here as a volunteer fireman. So
Nice.
we quizzed him a little more to see what he knew, and he knows about NFPA 1123 and 1124 and 1126.
Sure, of course.
Yeah,
of
that's
course.
good.
Of course it does. Not 25, naturally.
Or 30.
Well, we think we have a very good plan, a very safe plan. The company has $5 million worth of insurance, which the city will be named on. So I think all that'll come. There's one more piece of paper that may have to come back to the city because under the state law, the chief elected official has to sign off. So I don't know if when we get the paper from them with the permissions and all the information out, we'll bring it to Matt and see either you'll have to sign it or we may have to have the council sign it. We'll see, but it's just one more formality after we go through the approval tonight.
You're feeling pretty good about this, though, Jack. I'm hearing that. Okay, thank you. Good work. Any questions or discussion from Councilmember Baker?
Well, thank you, Your Honor, and thank you for bringing this to us. We're very excited about the Berkeley Day celebration, especially with the 100th of us as a community, as a city, as a village at this point.
Yes.
Yeah. Also very excited to see the continued expansion and growth of the programming and events and the use of the space. I think that's really exciting. With regards to the fireworks, just two quick questions. First, if you wouldn't mind sharing the particular date and time of the anticipated deployment or the show, and then if there's like a rain date, just in case, if you could share those with us.
Yes. So we are planning to do the display on Friday with a rain date for Saturday. I do not have a time yet. Our contact person through Pyrotechnico, the company that we're going to be utilizing, he has this fancy little device that tells him exactly when sun will set And as soon as we get our final approval on everything and we give him the go-ahead, he will get that information to us. It will take place at dusk, but I will have a more exact time once we get that information to him.
Excellent, thank you. And then it's perhaps in partnership with the city, there may be ways to communicate to folks that might be fireworks sensitive. There's certainly folks and animals and things that fireworks aren't the exciting event that many of us look forward to. In fact, it causes issues of trauma and things like that. So perhaps there's ways that we can communicate that this is happening, and just so folks are aware and they can make appropriate plans, either to be someplace else or to be right front and center, depending on what their ability to enjoy that as a celebratory event rather than a traumatic one.
Absolutely, yes. Our intention was to go ahead and utilize our social media to announce when and where the display would be taking place. We would also put that information in our press release. If allowed, we could also maybe put some little blurb or something up on some sort of city pages, things like that, just so we can try and reach as many members of the community as possible, so that those that are uncomfortable with the situation do have that opportunity to make other plans during that time frame.
Excellent, thank you so much.
Could that
Thank you.
also go on the city's website? A notice?
Yeah, we work in conjunction with social media.
Thank you.
That kind of
Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, any,
I just want to thank Jack for your dedication to the emergency management plan. I had the privilege of meeting with you last week to review it. It is very extensive and intensive. And I did like seeing the $5 million liability insurance with the fireworks. I think that kind of puts my mind to ease a little bit. Not thinking we'll have to use it, hopefully, but knowing that we're in good hands with our plan should we have needing that. So thank you for doing that for us.
okay, anyone here that would, in the public, would you like to comment on this? Do you have any questions about Berkley Days, the plan, the fireworks? Okay,
While I've got the floor, I have one more item.
yes.
Greg just talked about the emergency operations plan has to be changed because Dan abandoned us and we got a new mayor. And once you get a new mayor, you have to have all plans redone and signed by the new mayor. So thank you, Dan.
Give me something to do.
Yeah, so the plan has been redone. Tonight, I'll get Mayor Dean's signature on it, and I've already talked to the county. They're waiting for it.
Okay.
So we will get it up to them and get it to the city so it can be put on the shared drive so people will have it. So it is up to date and ready to go.
Thank you. I will sign that tonight before I leave the building. Thank you, Jack. Thank you. Ms. Mitchell, will you please call the, oh, sorry, I didn't see you. I'm so sorry. Councilmember Hennon.
Yeah, so just on the fireworks, I've gotten a couple of questions on who's paying for them.
So we have been raising funds through sponsorship opportunities. So we've had some resident sponsors, we've had some business sponsors, and then we have some of our own funds that are going into it as well. So it's been a collaborative effort to raise the money necessary for this
And
event.
if people wanted to donate, where could they?
If people are interested in donating, we do have a Event Hub page. You can go to eventhub.net, and in the marketplace, you would search Berkley Days. It's listed as Berkley Days Hometown Fair and 5K Race, so they can do sponsorship there. There is also a GoFundMe page that is on our Facebook page that they could go to as well.
Right, and if people just wanted more information about the events that are going to be going on at Berkley Days, where could they go?
They can go to our website, berkleydays.org. As of right now, we have it pretty up to date with everything that is going on. We have a few things where times are to be determined, but otherwise it's being updated as the events are being planned and laid out.
Great, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. Ms. Mitchell, please call the roll on M1823.
Valani?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Dooley?
Yes.
Hennon?
Yes.
Patterson?
Yes.
Dean?
Yes. Motion number M1823 has passed. Ms. Mitchell, will you please read item number 4 on the agenda?
Motion number M1923, matter of authorizing the mayor to execute a third-party specialized services operating assistance contract between SMART and the city of Berkeley for public transportation services primarily designed for senior citizens and persons who are handicapped. The contact period for this program is from October 1st, 2022 to September 30th, 2023.
Is there a motion to approve M 1923?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilmember Patterson.
Support.
With support from Councilmember Villani. Mr. Baumgarten.
Madam Mayor, I'll defer to your Parks and Recreation Director, Teresa McCarlton.
Perfect.
Good evening.
Ms. McCarlton.
Good evening. So this comes before you. 2 smart contracts come before you every year for renewal. This is no different than last year. The funds are exactly the same for specialized services. I do like to point out every year for those of you at home who may not know, or those of you in council who are new, that we do bring this to council as soon as we receive it. However, the dates don't always reflect that. Obviously, this began October 1st, 2022, but we are bringing it to council as soon as we are able to from the time that we receive it from SMART. We do continue to receive SMART funds on a rolling basis. We have weekly reporting and quarterly reporting that we do in order to receive those funds that we do from the Parks and Recreation Office. I'd like to mention this year that we recently hired a new driver, so we have now 2 part-time drivers who both do an absolutely excellent job. Our transportation has been up this past year. Not exactly sure what's to account for that, but we're always happy to see that, so much so that we're really reinforcing those, please call 48 hours ahead of time and we'll try to schedule you. We also have a lot of actual senior transportation trips, lunches and things happening at the same time that we're doing daily transportation. We have several standard Myers trips that are going out every week, whether it's from the towers or from homes. And then obviously we have doctor's offices, appointments for all kinds of things, from hair cutting to someone needs to go to the bank and that sort of thing. I always like to remind people we take reservations between 9 and 11:30 Monday through Friday. You can call Berkley Parks and Recreation. That number is 248-658-3470. Again, the boundaries that we go are 8 Mile to 16 Mile and then Lasser to John R. And for a lot of our seniors in our community, this is their main source of transportation, and we're really grateful to SMART for working with us to be able to get these funds, and then really grateful to the great staff that we have to be able to do it.
Absolutely. Any discussion from council? Any public comments? Well, I would just like to thank you, Teresa, for the incredible job that you and your staff do. I know that this is a vital service that we provide, especially for our seniors. I see it in action at the Parks and Rec events, at the community center, and all the trips. I read the buzz, and all the trips you have planned and the outings. And so I'm very grateful that we have the opportunity to offer this to our residents. And I want to thank you for being diligent with it and for working so well with SMART so that we can bring it to our residents. So, okay. Ms. Mitchell, please call the roll on M 1923.
Baker?
Yes.
Dooley?
Yes.
Hennan?
Yes.
Patterson?
Yes.
Villani?
Yes.
Dean?
Yes, the motion has passed. Ms. Mitchell, will you please read item number 5 on tonight's agenda?
Resolution number R523, matter of authorizing a resolution of the Council of the City of Berkley, Michigan, establishing an ad hoc Woodward Dream Cruise Committee, coordinating the 2023 Cruise Fest events for the City of Berkley.
Is there a motion to approve R0523?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilmember Hennan.
Support.
With support from Councilmember Baker. Mr. Baumgarten?
I'll just only note, Teresa's your expert in the room for sure, but I'll just note that while the Dream Cruise and Cruise Fest is an annual event that we celebrate each and every year, the committee itself is not a standing one. Therefore, it falls to council each year to create this ad hoc committee.
Ms. McCarlton?
Yeah, so again, every year we bring this to you in order to establish the committee, and then it will be resolved or dissolved in September, and then I'll be back before you hopefully next year. This year, we're fortunate that the same members that served last year are willing to serve this year, including the long-standing chair, Mark Kuhn, who you received a communication from him. So we're grateful to have him back and all his volunteer efforts to make this event run, all the efforts of all of the volunteers, the efforts of the staff, staff. This hits every single department, and it is the event in the city that brings the most amount of people to the city, to the downtown area. Last year's estimated attendance was the largest ever, and I mean, we estimated between 15 and 20,000 people. So the event just continues to grow, and it's certainly, one of the things that I always tell people is Cruise Fest is one day, Dream Cruise is one weekend, but the planning of all of that happens the entire year. I've had the privilege of serving on the executive board for the Woodward Dream Cruise for the last 6 years. We meet several times a month all year long. So, and Cruise Fest is then now going to meet for several months before it. So it doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens because a whole lot of people have their hands and heads and hearts around it. And it's a really wonderful signature event in Berkeley that we're excited to bring back, and hopefully even bigger and better than 2022.
Well, we know how wonderful it is. So yeah, we're excited as well. Any questions or comments from council?
Vroom, vroom.
Yeah. Well, thank you, and thank you for your willingness to serve on that, and to Mark and Cindy Kuhn also. I know that they, had hard hands as well. Any questions from anyone here about the ad hoc committee for Cruise Fest? Okay. Ms. Mitchell, please call the roll on R0523.
Dooley,
Yes.
Hennan,
Yes.
Patterson,
Yes.
Valani,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Dean.
Yes, the resolution has passed. Communications portion of the meeting. Ms. Mitchell.
Councilmember Hennan.
All right.
All right, the tree board will meet next on Monday, March 27th at 7 p.m. And the zoning board of appeals will be meeting in April to consider, April 10th, to consider a dimensional variance for a home in Kipling. That's it.
Okay, Councilmember Patterson.
I'm going to actually, Planning Commission didn't meet yet. They meet on the last Tuesday of, I have it written down, sorry. They meet on Tuesday the 28th at 7 p.m. I didn't want to give the wrong date. I was also asked to read for Parks and Rec on behalf of Mayor Pro Tem Gavin. He sent me an email that says the week-to-week registration for summer day camp is currently opens on the 1st of April. Register online at recreation.berkleymich.org. A Hoppin' Good Time Bingo celebration will be held on April 4th at 12:30 in the community center. There is a cost of $10, but it does include bingo cards and lunch. And please register early. Seats are limited and will probably fill up. Join us for our their first ever senior road rally on May 22nd. That you can solve puzzles and riddles and brain teasers as you and your bus mates travel from stop to stop and race around Detroit. The cost for that is $20. And then you can come check out senior luncheons and trips online, as well as spring session for kids and adults online. You can find those, and the Berkeley Buzz was delivered, so hopefully people had a chance to look through there. And that's all I have for tonight for both of us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilmember Dooley.
For the library, March is membership month for the Friends of the Berkeley Public Library. We have the Friends to thank for sponsoring all those programs that are so great for the cities, the author talks, the food programs, the history talks, the take-home kids, youth programs, and so much more. So we have about, 10 days left in March. So if you're not a member, please join to help all those programs. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilmember Valani.
Yes, first I want to start by thanking everyone who's been attending our public sessions on the millage. We appreciate your input and your participation in government. There are more opportunities to attend on April 4th and the 12th if you have questions you'd like to have answered, so we encourage you to show up there. For Citizens Engagement Committee and the Technology Advisory Committee, we had a meeting on March 8th. The group is discussing committee goals and roles, and our next meeting will be on May 10th. For the Berkeley Area Chamber, there is an April Chamber Chat coming up on April 21st at 8:30 a.m., and this will be held at the Woodward Corner Market. Just show up, no need to register. If you have not already, you still can get your Perk card for $30, and it's your gateway to savings all across the Berkley area. The Chamber is also seeking an events and operations person. It is a part-time role, so if this is something that you would enjoy doing, please reach out to their website to apply. And then lastly, the April 1st deadline is fast approaching if you want to be an Art Bash sponsor or a food vendor. So applications are available online.
Councilmember Baker.
Thank you, Your Honor. A couple of quick updates. Our Downtown Development Authority DDA board met on Wednesday, March 8th. The third reading of the draft budget had some great conversation, a couple little tweaks here and there, and then it was passed, and so we'll be seeing that as part of our proceedings here in the coming months. And thanks to all who made all of the wonderful downtown events a success this month. The Downtown Leprechaun Scavenger Hunt, the Leprechaun's Day Out, and the Downtown Block Party at O'Mara's. It was a chilly but fun day for those who were able to brave the weather and enjoy those brief glimpses of sunshine. It was really nice. Let's see, Ladies' Night Out is not too far away, Thursday, May 4th. I'll be talking more about that as we get a little closer. And on a related note, there are now 4 electric car chargers available at the public library, and they've been receiving quite amount of regular use, 3 to 4 sessions every day, which has been great to see folks leveraging that. And I've heard through our library director that somebody actually charged their car there and then went in and got a library card. So, that's an additional joy for the city. As far as our downtown goes, you can visit downtownberkeley.com to learn more. We heard from our fine leaders on the historical committee this morning, or earlier this meeting, so I won't repeat too many of their fine announcements earlier. The committee did meet on Tuesday the 21st. Let's see, talked about the home kits. The draft articles are being finalized for the magazine that will be distributed to all the residents and businesses here in the city, and I read those drafts, and they're very well done. There's a lot of cool things coming that you'll be excited to read about. And visitors are always welcome. As mentioned, the museum is opened Wednesdays from 10 to 1 and Sundays from 2 to 4. And they are available at berkeleyhistory.com. And finally, I'd like to continue to recognize Women's History Month. This is Women's History Month. And it's also Arts Education Month. I thought that was kind of neat because the theme for Women's History Month this month is the women who tell our stories. And stories come in many shapes and approaches, whether it be literature, poetry, arts, music, and so Sidney Clemens once said, "Art has the role in education of helping children become like themselves instead of becoming more like everyone else." And our school district's visual arts department, their mission is to provide engaging experiences to ignite students' artistic appreciation, creative spirit, and intellect. And they participate in 5 annual exhibits throughout the school year. And I'd just like to take a moment just to thank and appreciate the staff of the Visual Arts Department for all that they do. And I hope I get the names right. I didn't get a chance to chat with everyone. Julie Bergassi, Allison Carr, Stephanie Coburn, Kimberly DePaulis, Lisa Ficorelli, Dakota Jakuk, Samantha Letvin, Crystal Reed, and Nikki Stone. So that was Berkeley Women's History and Arts Education Month all rolled into one. And I'd just like to say, please stay safe and hug somebody you love because they need it more than you think they do. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Baumgarten.
I don't have much this evening. I thank you to Councilmember Villani for mentioning our informational meetings. Our next 2 that were mentioned in April are right here in Berkeley City Hall. Come out, and if you can't make it, please send along whatever questions you might have, comments. All these commentaries, all these questions feed our FAQs. As we've said in each of our meetings so far, we're a city of 15,000 people. If you're wondering something or thinking something, there might be a couple hundred people wondering and thinking the same thing. So the more information we can give, the better informed voter we have. And I don't want anyone to forget that May 2nd is our election day. If you want to vote in person or if you want to apply for absentee ballots, those applications are available now, and those ballots should be coming out soon.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor Dean. I would like to also extend my congratulations to Mayor Turbrack. And I look forward with all of your additional time to significant short game improvement, the public safety golf outing.
43 years.
Congratulations on your years of service.
Thank you. Well, I'd like to once again thank the Berkley Days Committee and the Cruise Fest Committee for all the work that you do to make these events happen. They certainly don't happen because of the efforts of a few or in a vacuum. I want to thank all the volunteers for stepping up, because without you, the events simply would not happen. And Berkley has a great tradition of volunteerism. Our residents come together like nowhere else to really make these things happen. There are many ways to support your community. In addition to the volunteerism that I just spoke about, we have a millage vote on May 2nd. And I ask that you educate yourselves before this important vote. There's a dashboard on the city website full of FAQs, a breakdown of what this exactly means step by step. As has been mentioned by Councilmember Villani and Mr. Baumgarten, we have 2 more information sessions. One Tuesday, April 4th at 7 p.m. Here at City Hall. The other one Wednesday, April 12th, also at 7 p.m. Come to one, come to both. I just think sometimes that you need to hear things more than once for things to really sink in. So if there's anything that I would ask you, please educate yourself before you cast your vote. Thank you. And with that, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilmember Hennon with support from Councilmember Patterson. Ms. Mitchell?
Patterson,
Yes.
Villani,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Dooley,
Yes.
Hennon,
Yes.
Dean.
Yes. The Monday, March 20th, 2023 meeting of the 39th Council of the City of Berkley is adjourned.